Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another expansive and lubricated episode of A News Fist. Things just keep getting better and better, ladies and gentlemen. How can you not love the times we live in? And to explore the general stupidity and fuckery that we find ourselves in, a combination of US election chaos and more COVID restrictions, as if anyone didn't fucking see that coming. I am joined by the wonderful and salubrious Christ himself. Say hello, mate.
Hello. Fists up, everyone. What's up?
Indeed. How have you been, man?
Pretty good. Nice chill day. Just been dusting, reading, and generally having a good time around where I come from. It's all good.
I really should post this link up on YouTube.
Having a good time around where I come from. It's all good. Whoa. Are we getting some feedback there?
Yes, we are getting feedback there because I very stupidly opened the freaking YouTube window at the same time because at Newsfist, we are nothing if not professionals. Absolutely. It's just two of us and a couple of microphones. Well, the idea that we're like just completely amateurish buffoons, of course, is a carefully cultivated illusion. We actually have literally millions of dollars of equipment in the background.
Yeah, we're going for that. All kinds of secret organizations and third parties and shadowy government organs. So, of course, we've got plenty of money. We would never fuck up like you just did, would we? No, of course not.
Absolutely not. In fact, as I said, it's deliberate to disguise the fact that we are, of course, funded by Soros. And I actually got my check from Soros today for my crisis actor work.
Where's fucking mine, man? Jesus, where's mine?
Well,
where's mine coming through?
Apparently, it's been delayed. It's in the post. You only really get properly paid if you're a top tier crisis actor like myself, of course. He sent me a little box of chocolates. Actually, as well, very, 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 very nice. I'm looking forward to further careers as an agitator and general crisis actor. I've actually been hired to dispute the US election. Since obviously no one is actually disputing the US election and everyone's saying that there was fraud is crisis actors. As you can imagine, there's quite a demand for people to pretend that they saw, fraud or irregularity. And, so that's quite a good paying job, that should be going, for at least a couple of months. And, with any luck, we can brainwash a few more people to convince them that they saw, weird irregularities or something like that. Should be great, doing God's work.
Absolutely. You can always find the absolute truth if you go onto the Washington Post at any time or CNN. They will give you 100% absolutely the complete lowdown and up, down, and whatever else down of what's going on. And they never lie. So, yeah.
I have been reliably informed that in fact is the case, that Washington Post and the New York Times, Vice, and The Verge, and all of those great publications are in fact 100% always true. And you know how I know? I went to a fact checker's site. Yes, a group of about like 5 journalism graduates, who got together and made like a little, fact checking site. What more do you need? I'm just grateful that I no longer have to think for myself. It really is a weight off my mind to not have to actually like look at any primary sources. Who needs to listen to like actual live hearings or, like primary evidence? No, it's really, really much safer if I'm just told what to think.
It's true. If you come from a liberal family and you enter a good liberal school in the United States and you listen to liberal media or liberal news all the time, then you're going to have these pretty liberal, excellently on-point views, and you'll never have to criticize yourself or be critical in any way. You just give it everything up front, and it's all gravy, baby.
Well, more importantly, it'll answer all of those difficult and possibly troubling questions. Questions like, did the CIA deliberately fuck with the US election the way that they fucked with so many elections in the past. This is a particular point of disconnection I have noticed among people on the left. The same people who declare, and probably quite correctly, that the CIA has had a hand in screwing with elections in Latin America and many, many other places, are somehow immune to the idea that all of these skills and expertise honed on these many elections could actually be turned against the United States. That does seem to, I guess, be what's happening. I mean, unless it's some kind of standalone sort of mass insanity that caused all of these things to happen. I don't know. It might be. So we do actually have some news rather than just commentary. So I suppose I've got some screen sharing and stuff. I'm not sure I can be asked, to be perfectly honest. It's just depressing. So first, local news. If you are in the UK, Parliament has passed new coronavirus restrictions, as if that was ever, in doubt, with Labour and them voting with Boris, like the true opposition party that they are. The whole country will basically be, as far as I understand it, in tier 2 or above, although they are about to publish the exact list soon. And apparently there will be a vote every 2 weeks on whether to renew these legislations. Although, again, with the current makeup of Parliament, it looks extremely likely that they will indeed be renewed every 2 weeks. So I guess Christmas is cancelled. Ha ha! Oh, I was saying this back in November. Everyone's like, oh, Chris, why are you saying such depressing things? They would never cancel Christmas. I was like, yeah, really? Yeah. Sucks to be right about that, bruh. Did you have plans for Christmas, Christian?
Yeah, I was hoping to do the whole family.
Well, I'm afraid that's now verboten. I believe. I think tier 2 still forbids you from mixing indoors with people from other households, which is awesome. I, for one, and will be very, very pleased to not have to see my family. No, that's a joke. I mean, dude, that's pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. Maybe they'll make a special exception for Christmas Day. Maybe the government will mercifully allow us Christmas. I mean, that'd be nice, Fuck's sake. Of course, if you are worried about the general eroding of fundamental and basic democratic freedoms, such as freedom of assembly, freedom of protest, tortious interference in business practices, tough shit. Although apparently you will be able to get a vaccine and a special little document that you can carry in your mobile phone that will allow you to resume normal life as long as you show this pass upon entering any establishment, restaurant, pub, or doing anything. We're getting some feedback from you there, Christian. What's going on, mate?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a couple. Hang on 1 minute. I'm gonna sign out and log back in. I'm really sorry again, man. This is shows our obvious professionalism here. 1 sec, mate. Sorry.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Well, what can I say? If you wanted to listen to a proper radio show,
can I just ask you, dude? I can't even see the freaking window anymore. It's just
for
gone.
Fuck's sake, man! You got to stop doing this on your mobile phone for the fucking 5th time. Use your fucking laptop. Fuck, dude.
I will. I
mean, I know we're low rent, but like we're supposed to still be able to run a fucking show. I mean, God.
Of course, man. Of course.
Apologies to our many millions of listeners, by the way.
Where is it? Many billions of listeners. Shit.
Just log out and log back in, man. Like, don't subject the listeners to this. We're gonna like lose the one listener that we have.
Right.
I think we have like one listener. Oh man.
Okay.
Well,
Where the fuck?
Oh, for Christ's sake!
No, you do your thing, and I'm going to do my thing. And wait, I'm going to. Okay, we're going to log me back in. I don't want to log in as two people though.
That's okay.
Right?
I can kick you out
You
of the
can
thing.
fuck off the other one. Good.
Listen, I'll remove you from the stream. Okay. So apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. Christian has now logged back in again, but before I let him back in, I would like everyone to comment under this video and tell him to use his motherfucking laptop. Our millions of listeners, of course, are very disappointed. Are you back?
Hello, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I apologize. It's all right. It's cool. We're going to get this all worked out. I'm not going to fuck with my phone at all. I'm just going to lay it down. I'm not going to do anything. If you need to screen share, I will see that. It will be perfect. Either. Okay. Oh shit. No, you're there. Okay, cool. I'm very sorry, man.
That's all right. So
okay.
Back to the news. Back to the fistening. such fistening we have. So U.S. election news. The whole shit show keeps rumbling on. The wish on the part of the Democrats and that Trump would just concede and roll over like a little bitch does not seem to be playing out. Whether there are merits to his accusations of fraud or not is still, I guess, an open question until it gets to the Supreme Court, which seems to be happening. I have actually seen an application for a brief to the Supreme Court. I don't know whether it's been accepted or not. However, Attorney General William Barr has come out and said that, as far as he is aware, there is no evidence of widespread fraud. Obviously, to howls of derision from the right, from people are like, "Oh, the traitor! Oh my God, how could you say that?" I gotta say, after watching 3 hours of the 7-hour fucking state legislature hearing in Arizona, because that's how I roll, baby. Yeah. Want to know what I'm doing at night? Watching fucking legislative hearings. Ha. Yeah. Party hardy. I got to say that it really does seem that there is definitely a case to answer. There are so many witnesses coming forward. There are data scientists who are basically saying that they have the complete network map and traffic logs of all of the Dominion voting machine fuckery, which seems to be substantial. Obviously, I cannot really confirm or deny. I have not seen it myself, but it certainly seems convincing based upon the testimony that I have heard. Again, I guess we'll have to wait until this gets to the Supreme Court. There are also the usual rumors floating around the writosphere, as it were. The most interesting rumor that was confirmed by a 3-star general whose name I could look up, but I can't really be bothered at the moment, concerns supposedly a secure CIA facility in Frankfurt, Germany, run by a company called Skytel, which apparently was indeed a CIA front. Supposedly, according to this general, special forces from, I believe, the 305th Special Operations Command actually assaulted this building whilst Haspel, the head of the CIA, was inside. And there were a number of deaths, and Haspel has apparently, according to this rumor, been wounded and apparently flown to Guantanamo Bay. Again, big if true, ladies and gentlemen. Big if true. Obviously, this is just a rumor, but there is quite a bit of buzz about it on Twitter. I don't know how many actual tweets, but when I last checked, if you go to Twitter and you search for CIA director, the first 2 search suggestions are CIA director assassinated and CIA director arrested. Now, of course, this would be a rumor. This would not really be confirmed, especially if it's true that Haspel has indeed flipped. It would be a pretty momentous announcement for for the US government to come out and essentially admit that there is a shadow war going on between the army and the intelligence community. I mean, that would be unprecedented, big if true, very huge if true, humongous if correct, gargantuan if confirmed. But we will have to wait, I'm afraid. There has been more evidence about Dominion, the very, very shady voting company. I believe I have an actual network graph of the Dominion connections, but where the fuck is it? For God's sake. Oh, that's right. I have it. Like I actually saved it somewhere. Oh God. I mean, this is what you come to this stream for, isn't it? Isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? You know the.
It's all right. We'll be getting better and better at this as we go on. It's fine.
Well, yeah, we're not though. We're basically remaining exactly the same.
We'll remain shit for a year, and we'll have 1 or 2 listeners for that whole time. But you know, maybe we'll get 3 or 4 listeners next year. Who can tell?
I believe.
I mean, neat little gathering, you know, an intimate little space of us talking to 2 or 3 people.
Right. That's right. It's not that we're shit and no one listens to us. We are exclusive. You should feel honored.
There are safe spaces and there are small spaces, and we will occupy a pretty small space, but it'll be all right. It'll be fine, dude. Chill out. It's fine. It's cool.
Right. Okay. So is this what? Right. Okay. So this is supposedly a connection graph of people linked to Dominion voting systems. Again, this is kind of unsourced from the interweb, so fucking I don't know. Looks pretty cool though. As you can see, it is a veritable spider's web of very, very interesting people, including Soros, Gates, Kissinger, Smartmatic, Sequoia, James Comey, Black Lives Matter, Larry Summers, Hunter Biden, DNC. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I'd love to actually like see the full version of this. I mean, this looks crazy, but you know, it could also just be, I don't know, man. It's the internet, you know. But it is increasingly looking like there is some kind of large scale fuckery afoot. I cannot personally confirm or attest to the amount of fuckery, but fuckery there certainly seems to be, and a large number of people seem to believe that there was said fuckery. According to the latest Rasmussen poll, I think it's like 48% of Americans believe that there was fuckery, which is quite a high fuckery question. Do you have any opinions on this, Christian, on the said levels of fuckery?
This massive spaghetti spider's web of why it does. I can't really see. I'm sorry, man. I'm looking on my phone at the moment. I can share it. This is a network that, you know, these are 2 or 3 degrees of separation out from all of the usual suspects of, as you say, fisty fuckery, nonsense, and mess that, you know, we can assume here that, I think, as you've been laying out for the last 5 minutes, something's definitely afoot. The problems we're obviously having are that the mainstream media across the West seem to just not be listening to anything that Trump's team and his legal team and so on are saying. The left are extraordinarily well coordinated, and I think everyone on the sensible side of the equation and on the right and so on clearly know this. I just want to see in the next 2-3 weeks some really solid shit, because I mean there are so many irregularities and these statistical anomalies that happened there on the night, and it's obvious to people who are really looking at this with any degree of clarity that something's not right. I'm just annoyed that the media are completely denying this, and that most people are listening to that media, and we're the ones at the moment that look quite anxious and clutchy, and we seem to be clutching at straws at the moment. I suppose it's not a good look.
Well, okay, so I mean, I personally think that this looks a lot like a coup attempt by the Democrats. And I mean, I realize that's the kind of like low resolution, a coup attempt kind of thing that people like to bandy about. But having studied a fair bit about this, when you have a covert struggle for power for the control of a country, so you wish to take over a country through means of subterfuge rather than war, there are a few things that you need to control. The media is indeed one of the most important parts to control. You need the media to set the groundwork for a transfer of power. You need the media in order to rig elections. You need them to run suppression polls. You need the media to soothe people's anger once an election has been stolen. You need the media to announce the new leader. You need the media. Indeed, it could be said that if you have control of the media and the military, then any state really can be taken over. So it would seem at the moment that we have a situation where the Democrats control the media and the Republicans control the military. Now, at the end of the day, it really does come down to the military, at least from a historical perspective. But the media is becoming increasingly important. So I really don't know. I really wish I could flash forward in time a couple of weeks.
I think,
watch the Supreme Court and lay a big fat bet on the outcome and make a whole bunch of money. But I cannot see the future, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, none of us can. We are limited by the information that we can access. But I have to say, some of the shit I've seen coming out of the leftist media, or the mainstream media, whatever you want to call it, is particularly low resolution, even for them. Lots of articles about how Trump is spouting lies and baseless claims, and they won't even list what these lies and baseless claims are. Usually the way that you do journalism is you say this thing is a lie, you list the accusation, you list your rebuttal. But I've seen a number of articles where they're just saying, these lies are so bad we won't even talk about them. Now that is straight out of the authoritarian dictatorial playbook, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
No, I mean, I think there's a big issue here as well. I mean, it could well have been that Trump won this election, and that there are just numerically more people in the states that are actually behind Trump, or are certainly against the left and Biden's camp. It's interesting that it's obviously people who really want to maintain control of a country need the mainstream media on their side. Trump hasn't had the mainstream media on his side for the last 4 freaking years. But people are increasingly getting their information from good people like us, I suppose. And there's the independent open source media. So we will see how this goes. I was just thinking when you said that there might be a coup attempt by the Biden camp, it almost seems like the framing here is that Trump is doing the coup, and he's trying to maintain. If you just listen to the mainstream media, it's Trump clamoring for control and trying everything he can to maintain his foothold and so on, and these conspiracy theories, and oh my God, he might well. I mean, I remember hearing one of the CNN anchors saying that there is actually a path to Trump winning through a lot of legal kind of hopscotch and so on.
Indeed, there is, Christian. I would be happy to lay out this path if you're interested. And for our listener, thank you, one listener. You warm our hearts. Thank you for joining us. If you go away, we will simply be jerking each other off rather than providing a service to the wider world. But in all seriousness, the way to victory for Trump, and I presume, and this is what the legislative hearings are about. There's one going on today in Michigan, I believe. So
you're roboting a little bit, Chris. Can you hear me, mate? You're roboting a little bit.
Oh,
you're roboting a bit.
Yeah, I hear you. Is it better now or not?
That's good.
Is it still bad? Oh, goddamn, my internet connection.
I will let you know if it is. Okay.
Thank you. So it is not the people that actually choose the electors that the states send to the electoral college. As you may know, if you know much about US politics, it is not the people directly that decide the next president. It is the electoral college. The electoral college are appointed by the various states. And usually what happens is that the state votes for a certain party. The electors confirm that, and they then send electors to represent that state to vote for that party in the electoral college. However, there is a clause in the Constitution whereby the state legislature, not the governor, not the Secretary of State of that state, can override the choice and pick their own electors. So Trump's strategy at the moment seems to be to send Giuliani to all of these different state legislatures in swing states, lay out the evidence, which, again, does seem to be considerable. I realize that these are hearings rather than actual court testimony, but they do seem to be convincing. There seems to just be a lot of ordinary people who witnessed a lot of really, really weird shit, which does put the left in an interesting position. Either these people are telling the truth, or there has been a massive organized conspiracy to dig up hundreds of ordinary people and math geeks and computer scientists who will attest to fraud. Now, one of these surely is, if one is a conspiracy theory, right, that there was a fraudulent election, surely the idea that Trump and Giuliani have dug up all these ordinary people is also a conspiracy theory. So checkmate, lefties, I guess.
And then how easy would it be to get any of these people just to flip and, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we were lying all along. So don't sue us and don't send us to prison and blah blah blah. We'll flip.
This is the thing. This does rather hinge on whether there is actual proof of widespread attempt to steal the election. If that was done in the name of a foreign power, that, sir, is treason. That is the definition of treason. In fact, depending on your belief about how much conflict currently exists between the US and China,
you're roboting a tiny bit, mate, again.
Sorry, say that again.
Okay. Can you just repeat that? Just repeat that last sentence or two.
Did I drop out again?
Roboting.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Ooh. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Dude, you're really cutting out, man. Sorry about this.
Oh,
hello?
For God's sake. Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Am I back?
Nope.
Oh,
I'm getting not much, dude. I'm so sorry.
Apologize to our viewer for these technical difficulties. I don't know what the hell.
I apologize, viewer. Yeah, you're right now. You're good now.
I'm all right now.
Oh, yeah. You're good now.
So what I was saying is that if indeed they do have evidence of widespread election fraud, and if this fraud was perpetrated in the name of a foreign power, that is treason. I mean, that is literally the definition of treason, actually. Depending on your opinion on the state of war that may or may not exist between the US and China, it may indeed even be high treason. Now, treason is not a word that people like to throw around anymore, but it's still on the statute books, especially in the US. And the penalties for it are extremely harsh. Now, I don't know whether anyone is aware. Oh, hey, Paprika. Nice to see you. I'm not sure if anyone is aware of this, but Trump has recently re-legalized execution by hanging and by firing squad. I shit you not. this came down by executive order, I think about 3 or 4 days ago. If I was a more committed streamer, I probably would have saved this and I would throw it up on screen, but I'm not. So I didn't. Let me see if I can like find it. Trump legalizes firing squad.
And that is pretty amazing. That I mean, those two methods of dispatch as well. I don't know, man. Shit, it's cheap, I guess.
No. I think that this is probably a shot across the bow. This is probably a message to say to certain people. Fuck around and find out, I believe, as the kids like to say. Hang on, I found an article.
I did hear this, and I was a bit shocked as well. And I was like, hang on, is that fake news from the left? But no, apparently not.
Here we go. Right. Trump administration permits firing squad and poison gas executions. I mean, damn, son, that's pretty fucking crazy.
So not hanging then? No, just poison gas and shooting.
Is it? My understanding is that it also permits hanging. Okay. And of course, this is said, to help states. Because there has been a lot of blocking of lethal injection drugs that have held up a number of executions in US states. Okay. But the timing is particularly prescient.
Cool.
I mean,
I'd say high treason, right? As you say, this is a big deal, and America deserves justice in this. If this has happened, I think a message needs to be sent. And I mean, a bit of hanging and maybe some shooting sounds fair to me.
Well, this is not
hanging first and then some shooting afterwards, or yeah.
Well, this is not uncommon in American history. Yeah. Despite the fact that we like to think of ourselves as more civilized humans now, we don't do that sort of thing anymore. I would argue that the reason that we don't do that sort of thing anymore is because we have lived through an unprecedented era of peace and stability, mainly because of nuclear weapons, weirdly enough. All the people are like, oh, nuclear weapons are wrong. Yeah, well, they kept you safe for like a good fucking 70 years. So
yeah,
suck it up, buttercup, I guess. But yeah, if indeed, if you go back in American history, there have been incidences of treason, and they have been very, very harshly punished. My American history is not the best, but I believe most of these were for people who were still serving the English, I believe, during the Civil War.
Well, there was some Soviet era Russian spies and stuff that were given some pretty harsh treatment, and so they were. I mean, most of the the Rosenbergs. There were quite a few. Obviously, and as soon as they were found out, they didn't last too long. They were given the dispatch. I can't remember. I just remember the Rosenbergs off the top of my head, but there were quite a few Soviet spies that got some. Yeah, it was the same doing tit for tat, right? There was a lot going on, and
yeah, indeed.
So
it's
fair. I think it's fair. The problems that the world, I think, is suffering at the moment, and what we seem to be going through, and China, obviously, in a cold war with the States at the moment. Biden, if he's really trying to coordinate a treaty between China and the United States, we can certainly begin to see the States becoming more authoritarian, dictatorial. And we've already been seeing in the press what that might look like. So, yeah, I'm not holding much hope for the States and for the West if the next 4 years is a Biden or a Harris presidency. They're very left wing indeed, and quite seem to be pretty authoritarian. So, Yeah.
Speaking of Biden, he also apparently broke his ankle recently.
Yes.
Playing with his dog. The rumor mills have been going wild.
In two places as well.
About what
in a couple of places.
Definitely the kind of guy you want ruling the most powerful nuclear armed country in the world. I don't foresee any problems with that.
He'll be fine in a couple of days.
I mean, the way it's looking at the moment, right? Harris is just going to like take over on day one. And it's going to be like all hail President Harris. I don't know about you, but she looks delightful. The kind of person you could just hang out and have a drink with. Really congenial. She terrifies me. I swear to God, that woman legit terrifies me, right? Like she looks fucking crazy, man. That laugh that she's got, bruh, chills me to the bone.
This is the thing. I think she's going to be good at one thing, and that's kicking out any and all power that the American people had from underneath them. And it's legislatively and economically, I mean, it's going to be a complete fucking nightmare for the states, especially since they're going through a very hard time just now with the coronavirus and well, economically speaking, I mean, it's not good at all. The new, the plans she has for essentially what amounts to a green agenda, which she said they said that they weren't going to implement. Of course they will. It's going to ruin the states, eh?
Well, again, if you look at this through the lens of possible economic warfare, this would make a lot of sense. If you seek to make war with a country, you want to weaken them first. Economic warfare is a completely legitimate form of warfare. And by forcing the US to give up its fossil fuel industry, jacking taxes through the roof, weakening its power grid, forcing it into another large war in the Middle East, it could definitely be said that all of these state objectives would benefit the CCP. It would keep the Americans busy in the Middle East, keep their attention off China. It would cause the price of fossil fuels to drop, whilst at the same time weakening the US's energy position. It would jack the price of electricity up. It would force more high energy intensive industries to move offshore. It's a win-win-win for the point of view of anyone who hates the US, basically.
And all the time we're going to be told how race relations in the States is at an all-time low, and we must learn to somehow. I mean, what is it now that the left are saying about all of this? It's just they've been fomenting race hatred for quite a long time, or certainly the last 4 years, and everyone's at each other's throats when this was not a problem a few years ago. And the Democrats are obviously going to legislate for supremely lopsided help for minorities and stuff like this and so on. And I remember Biden's already. He's got a press team that are all female, I think, and he did exactly what Trump did. But I'm sure that these girls are going to be quite. I'm sorry to say it, not as capable of as Trump's team there. Only there's all this talk about giving farmland to Black Americans and so on. And I remember we were talking to a guy we know not too long ago, and he was saying, yeah, it really helped out for Zimbabwe. So I don't know, man. It is looking a freaking mess, and America has been holding on with the Trump presidency, literally holding on. If that's gone, if that goes, yeah, I don't know, dude. Buy gold, buy silver. You can buy some bushcraft kit.
Buy Bitcoin. Perhaps, although whether that's going to if the grid goes down is anyone's guess. My personal recommendation would, I gotta say, be in metals or possibly cash. I don't know how bad
water filters. I
don't know how bad this shit is going to get, but this is crazy. Democrats to introduce a South African-style land confiscation bill to give land to black farmers. Now, this is a policy that has had disastrous results in South Africa. It was arguably responsible for the complete collapse of Zimbabwe, and not just because of race issues. The idea of just like nicking people's land, although my understanding in the American version is that they will be forced sales. So the government will buy land with tax dollars, but you won't be able to refuse. And then just giving this land for free to basically just anyone, as long as they're black. I mean, it would be one thing if they were going to give this land to people who had qualifications in farming or something like that, who were like, okay, you've shown that you can run a small farm. We'll, give you, or even if the government gave loans that were like backed, saying, we will lend you the money to purchase more farmland. That would be one thing. But to just do forced sales,
are these market rate sales? Are these fair price sales? I'm assuming they are, right? I mean,
let me see.
Probably. I just wanted to say, while you're doing that as well, I don't see many. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't see a lot of black Afro-Americans being too interested in farming. I don't honestly see that. I see the arts. I see music. I see sports. I see a lot of entertainment kind of roles and positions. I don't really see a lot of black people farming in the United States.
Well,
I mean, sure, if you
very visible. So, I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, Kanye West did not get famous for being a farmer, but I mean, name a famous white farmer.
No,
I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? So, I'm not sure whether that's a practical argument. Sorry,
you're cracking out again a bit, man. Sorry.
It might be your connection.
Sorry, listener.
Paprika was saying that he could hear me fine the last time, so I'm just gonna keep talking. Although I can hear you.
You're right. Then go for it, man.
Apologies. Apologies to our listener. We appreciate you. We appreciate you sitting through this fucking bullshit. But it's more the economic argument and the sort of re-imposition, I guess, of what would essentially be eminent domain, forced sales under eminent domain for what are essentially, racial justice reasons. That's a really, really, really bad precedent.
Could they not just sell public land or government land? Are there not areas where you could do that?
That's a really, really good question, actually. I don't really know, but you would think that there would be government land already owned by the government that they could simply give to black people who wished to be farmers. I don't really know. It smacks very much of anti-white sentiment of the kind that they had in South Africa. Indeed, this is an impossible conclusion to reach because they're not saying we're going to take from like rich farmers and give to poor farmers. Do you know what I mean, right? It's we're going to take from white farmers and give to black farmers. It is an explicitly racist policy, although apparently racism against whites is fine.
I mean, it does sound a bit like this. What will happen then, I suppose, to food prices? And I just see like an absolutely exponential level of government fist fuckery in all of this. And this level of interference in the markets in food production. I don't understand. I mean, it's such a strange thing to hear about this the other day. I mean, given how this has empirically gone pretty badly in other countries. But here we go. They're going to do it again, and we'll see.
I mean, according to this article, this total. Let's just have a look at this Democratic proposal. Millions of acres would be redistributed under this plan. The Equitable Land Access Service must dole out at least 20,000 land grants annually. So there's 20,000 grants a year to eligible black individuals and entities, helping any number of eligible black individuals in identifying and claiming the free land they're supposed to be entitled to. Up to 160 acres per grant would be redistributed under this plan. And after crunching the numbers, this would be 32 million acres of land that would be redistributed, which in this total represents 1.6% of all land in the continental United States. And that's just over 1 year. So this could be a fuck up of truly Zimbabwean proportions. I mean, fuck, dude.
It's got to have something to do with. I mean, if you're an evil-minded bastard, you got to be thinking about how this is going to affect food prices in the United States and how this might well have an effect on the types of food. I'm thinking maybe certain say beef and livestock farming that a lot of environmental people don't want to see so much because it's also terrible for the environment and feeding these livestock and cattle and whatever is so evil and bad for the environment. Maybe this is a whole might be moving towards something that screws that up.
Well, starvation is a very effective tool for subduing a population, as history has shown. If you starve a group of people for a while, they do become much more malleable. And more importantly, if you want people to accept an authoritarian regime, generally speaking, the best way to do that is to find a very, very bad situation, maybe even one that you created yourself, and then tell everyone that you will save them as long as they submit to these terrible new restrictions. People in a state of freedom generally do not want these things, but if things are bad enough, a lot of people will be like, oh, okay, I'm not really cool with not having any rights or whatever, but at least I'll have something to eat.
Shouldn't we be thinking that what we should have preferred? Maybe we should do this next time round to Agenda 30 and see, because I know there are stipulations in that about food and food production. I wonder if this is going to be used as a stepping stone for implementing something along those lines. So insect farming, or a hell of a lot more food, vegetable production, taking away. I know that this, I heard this, taking people away from predominantly farming for cattle and livestock and so on, which is obviously pretty healthy for people. I'm thinking that might be something to do with it.
It is a fundamental component of many sort of cult and sort of brainwashing techniques to give people a high sugar, low protein diet. It makes you less critical. It makes you more suggestible. All of these kinds of things. Yeah. I speak from experience here. No. Just your brain just doesn't work as well. It seems like fucking communism to me, man. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like communism. Like the worst aspects of it are coming true, and fucking I don't like that shit, man.
No, I think I see an unprecedented level of fuckery in the markets for the next few years if Biden makes it. And I mean, also, when we have to think about the next year or two of just trying to recover from coronavirus and so on, it's going to be a hell of a lot of control that smacks down on the American people, just economically. UBI possibly being rolled out as well, and then you've got those clause in terms of UBI, and you must be a good person if you want to get UBI, and obviously we're phasing out cash soon. So yes, please. Do what you're fucking told, y'all.
Well, this is a very disturbing component of UBI that is not much talked about. So the way UBI is sold is that everyone will get it, and only people who are on welfare really need to worry about it. For those who are like working, it will just be a little supplement. But what if things go really south and UBI is the only income that you can rely upon? And then what if they simply say, well, we're only going to give UBI to people who deserve it now. And they then make a criteria for who deserves it. And boom, you have a social credit system like basically ready made. You know, we're not going to give you UBI if you utter hate speech. We won't give you UBI if we, you know, think you're a racist. All of these kinds of like things. And there's a ready-made argument there. If UBI is paid for out of taxes, although I'm really not sure how this is going to work. I mean, if hardly anyone's working, I mean, if people are just surviving off UBI, they're not going to be paying any tax. So how the fuck they're supposed to pay UBI out of it? I presume they'll just try and tax the rich into the ground. Communism, mate. It doesn't fucking work. It's been shown to not fucking work. But I don't know, try telling that to some people. You know, Christian has just dropped out. Well, I think we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. This has been 50 minutes. We haven't really got that many listeners. Paprika, thank you so much for coming along. We really appreciate it, mate. We will hopefully be doing a stream with some more people. We'll try and get Pavlov on, but he's out of internet at the moment, so we're running on limited staff. Thanks very much. This has been Newsfist. Things can only get better, ladies and gentlemen, unless they get a whole lot worse. In which case, disregard what I said. Good night and God bless.